Sorry about that, people. Spider. Anyway, so then I think we. Oh wait, no, I didn't run directly to Woodstock Express. Afterwards, I don't know why I did this, but I think I just like ran through like the front of the park, I think, and figuratively, and or maybe I did the sky ride. Yeah, maybe I think I did the sky ride. Um, whatever the reason is, somehow we got to like kind of like we got to the county fair section of the park, not the NorCal County Fair. Um, and I rode the new style antique car rides. The antique cars the day that I was there had really long lines, so that was like really weird. It was cool how there was like some theming, and it was nice riding antique cars again because my park got rid of ours for X Flight. Not sure if sure they could have kept both if they wanted, or sure they could have kept it if they wanted, but whatever. Um, After that, then I did Berserker, which is like the Schwarzkopf Bayern curve ride, and it's probably one of like two or three left in the world, I think. So I got to ride it. Kay had ridden the anti cars, and she was gonna ride Berserker because she saw it. She saw that it just like pretty much just did like pretty much did like a Matterhorn style ride or a Music Express. Figured, hey, I'll be okay on that. So she rode it. Got to meet up with a fellow Illinois coaster enthusiast, Mike Parker, F Parker 185. Got to like talk with him, got to chat with him, got to like it was nice talking to him in person because the last time I talked to him was in like 2018. Um it was just like cool being able to chat with someone who uh before I joined the forums, I was like I was like a big fan of his content and his work, and kind of looked at him as like to an extent, a role model. Like being able to go to all these parks and ride all these rides and drive and stuff. Never got that part. Um, then after that, then I think I rode Demon, and I don't know if Six Flags Great America's Demon, if they had identical drops, and the Illinois Six Flags just steepened the Illinois one, or if California shallowed the first drop, but it's a very in at in Illinois, it's a much steeper drop, while in California it's kind of more like shallower, and you don't like get that pop of airtime that you normally do. Plus, Cedar Fair, it had seatbelts on the over shoulder restraints. That is something I can't believe I forgot. And also the anti cars also had seatbelts because of safety. Um After that, uh yeah, I think we did go, I think I did try to do Woodstock, then we did the anti cars, then we did Berserker. I didn't do Railblazer because RMCs, the single rails, don't have the greatest capacity. Plus, this was the attraction for ERT, so I figured, hey, I'll just ride it then. Um, then I rode Gold Striker. Dang, that's a good ride. That's a really incredible attraction. Probably won't be able to be relocated unless the city decides to like just keep like a small park and just maybe just keep like the carousel, the theater, and Gold Striker, and maybe make that like a city park or something. That could work, maybe. Um, or just like dig dig more of the water park into the theme park to the point where it's just like a maybe like 10 dry rides and like a good sized water park, maybe that would be the case. But it's like, oh my God, Gold Striker is so much fun. And the ride just seems to like just right when you think it's slowing down, it then turns and makes the ride suddenly much more makes the ride more exciting. I know that the tunnel I know that the tunnel is for sound reasons. Um I don't know, maybe I was just warm or something, but I remember there being like noises at like the top of as you go down the first drop. So maybe I'm just losing my mind, or maybe I don't remember it correctly. Um but I kind of wish the entire ride was in tunnels, because that would make the ride just completely crazy and out of control. It would be like the parks. It would kind of be like an Indiana Jones, like just a runaway coaster, because you would have no idea, like you wouldn't be able to see anything. You couldn't see 10 feet ahead of you. And this ride is extremely twisted and stuff, so this is a good one. I'm trying to remember if this day I rode Grizzly or not. I'm sorry, people. Grizzly is not the park's best coaster, and that's putting it so generously. It just does almost nothing. The first drop does nothing. The laterals do almost nothing. Yeah, you shake back and forth. I don't know if that's a positive. Um, I would love to see California's Great America kind of do to this Grizzly what they did to King's Dominion's Grizzly with Gravity Group, and just like make the drop steeper. There's like a very long, very, like a hill that should be like this is like stretched out to like this kind of. I would love to see the park like try to add some hills and maybe even add a tunnel, something like that, because I'm sure if you added a tunnel and you just steepen the first drop, I can't imagine the businesses would be able to complain too much, but that's maybe just my opinion. There are ways to like make the ride a little snappier. That's what I'm getting at. Um, Sorry folks, I'm going to go to the website to try to find out what stuff is going on. Um, that I think is for the most part of that I think is for the most part about what happened that day. Oh, I rode Patriot. Um, I didn't think it was spectacular when it was Vortex. I don't think it's spectacular as Patriot. Um, but the paint looks beautiful. I'll give it that. That's something. The ride, I know it's because of space. I get that, but it is a smaller version of Iron Wolf that used to be at Six Flags Great America. But here's the thing with Iron Wolf, what was cool from an enthusiast standpoint is that the ride was built right next to the employee parking lot. So as you kind of went up the lift hill, if you sat on like the very end, you got to kind of like tilt your head up and to the side or something. So you got to see like, hey, is there a new building or something in the is there a new are there new shipping crates in the employee parking lot before, the rest of the ride. This ride doesn't really have that. It's just kind of it's not exactly built in the middle, but it's kind of built close to the middle. So then after that, then it was time for dinner. Um, I got to have some steak, got to have some chicken, got to have some ravioli. Um, because I had ridden all the coasters I could have ridden, um, the term diet did not mean anything anymore for me. So I just kind of like binged. Yeah, I had mashed potatoes, had some churros, had Coke Zero or Diet Coke. Um, Chilled with, got to have some fun with that. Ate, got to talk with some people, got to annoy some people. Probably annoyed more people than I spoke to. Then it was time for ERT. Um, I think I'm. It was probably this night that I met this guy, Andy, uh, which is like the third Andrew Drew that I know now of coaster enthusiasts, so that's cool. Um, I had just like talked to him about a bunch of stuff, and we just kind of like rocked. We just kind of like clicked. Um, so we decided to write a bunch of the ERT stuff together. Um, Along with John Chen, who I got to meet again. That was cool. Um, Trying to think. It was I think I made like some comment like, why didn't you, or it's like, you came from Texas, so you decided to bring the heat with you? Because he's from like Texas. So so I think we first rode Psycho Mouse, where it was fun riding another Arrow again, or another Arrow Mouse. They're fine. Don't put a don't make me decide what the best wild mouse coaster is, because they all kind of blend together after a while. After that, then we did Grizzly again. Then we did Railblade, or then we did Demon. Then it was time to do Railblazer, and I've ridden two RMC single rails. I've ridden Wonder Woman Golden Lasso coaster at Fiesta Texas, and I've ridden Jersey Devil at Six Flags Great Adventure. And I'm just going to be the nitpicker, okay? I don't like the seating position of of my legs. I'm not a fan of that. To me, it puts a lot of pressure on my legs. How RMC has the seats. If I could have my legs crossed, that'd be cool. But Park won't allow that, and I totally understand that. I respect that. Not gonna blame them for anything. So I wrote that. Was not very comfortable. Kind of like walked a little wobbly after that. Um, I can't remember. I don't think we did the flat rides. We went to a snack. We went to the snack bar, and I got some popcorn, some potato chips, and maybe like a soda. Then we did the drive back. ERT went until like 10 or 10:30. So, and we had to get up the next day for morning ERT. Oh, I had done the bumper cars, and man, the bumper cars aren't fun when there's that like island in the middle of it. Thank God my Great America doesn't have that island, so you can just like smash, and it's so much fun. There'll be an upcoming bumper car story, people. Um, so then was the next day, and we had ERT on. I think I got there at like 9 or something, so I got to have like some Danish or donuts, and I got to have some soda. Um, I rode Gold Striker a bunch of times, and I think I rode it like twice or something. And then I think we rode the carousel because might as well ride both Great America carousels. What's cool is that this carousel does not have the seat belts that Six Flags has, so that's one positive in your direction, California. After that, then I think I'm trying to think what happened that day. Uh, uh, I'm sorry, people. I'm trying to look because this is not the best page that this is not the best page. There's missing some stuff. Um, Something that I'm, I think this day I decided that, well, no offense, but California's Great America, you can't do 3 days in that park, like from being there from like 8 to like mid to like 11 p.m. You can only be there for so long. So, there's only so many attractions. So we decided to go into the water park, South Bay Shores, and something I had a minor issue with, and I'm going to sound like the biggest wimp, but California's Great America doesn't exactly heat their water. So while it was like well, it wasn't like the 70s or 80s, it felt like it was in like the 50s it felt like it was in the 40s or 50s in the water park in the wave pool. So I was thinking like, yeah, I'm gonna go on a bunch of the slides. I'm gonna go on in the lazy river. I'm gonna go in the dipping bucket, dipping bucket play area. I'm gonna do all of this stuff. And then I went in and I was like, okay, maybe just the wave pool and lazy river. And then I think I went into and I remember there being like the Boomerang Lagoon or something, the old lagoon pool, thinking, okay, well, I can do that. I think that's a heated pool, so I'll go in there. And then I realized, well, it's a kid's pool, but adults can go into it. They just can't go on the slide. So I don't know if I was starting to like warm up or something, but I was like just starting. I felt like I was maybe warming up. I don't know exactly what the term is, but I did feel a little bit better in the lagoon pool after doing the wave pool and lazy river. But I just kind of like I was like, no, I did those three. I don't want to go on tipping bucket. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm fine. Um, After that, then we were walk. Then I was walking. I was like, well, let me try Woodstock Express again. And something I was, I don't know, just something happened where I got to ride it. I was able to ride it. I was just like, it was just something about being in the right place, right time, right karma, right people, right seat. I was able to ride it. For a family coaster, it kind of doesn't really do a whole lot. Pretty much you go up a lift, then you go down a drop, then you go up, you turn, and then you pretty much like do a helix, and then you do like two hills back into the station. It's a very short. I know it's a family coaster, but it's kind of unneeded because of Psycho Mouse, like a few hundred feet away, and if it were up to me, I would probably get rid of that. And I'm just yelling at an empty wall right now. But I don't know what I would do with that. I would probably replace it with something like maybe a clone of Oscar's Wacky Taxi or Wooden Warrior, or maybe like some Max spinning coaster that maybe has an inversion or something. Not like Ride to Happiness or Time Traveler, but just something like that. I don't know. When Gerstlauer was teasing like a record-breaking project, I was thinking it was going to be a coaster at California's Great America, and it was going to be like a fast launch or most inversions, and then it went to Glenwood Caverns in Colorado, and it was like the steepest first drop. So that's my thought. Okay, so after that, I think that day, oh, I did the Mass Effect attraction. Um, eh, it's it has its pluses and minuses. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's really fun. I don't know if the human guide is necessarily important because for years I rode Space Shuttle America, and that was pretty much just about like blowing up an asteroid so it doesn't blow up the Earth. And this is like you're going to an alien planet, which, like, bad stuff happens. And I didn't know if the human host was necessarily super important to the story. I could have probably followed a majority of it without the person, but hey, that person has a paycheck, so that's cool. Um oh, another there I one of the behind the scenes experiences is that in 2017 I went through the Saw Alive Haunted House at Thorpe Park, but with the lights on and with like no characters. That's about the only way that you're gonna get K in a haunted house, okay, people? So they offered tours of both of the indoor haunted houses, so I was like, okay, cool, might as well do it. I mean, why not? One of the haunted houses, I can't remember which one. Um, I think it might have been the one that was near like Lost Parents. Um, maybe, but the one that I remember, and I don't exactly remember which one, is that there's like a place, or there's a book, there's like a shelf filled with books, and one of the books in this haunted house is Bill O'Reilly, The No Spin Zone. And I thought that that was hilarious. So I kind of ended up going through it again another day, and I told the tour guide, it's like, this is the house. There's the right there, Bill O'Reilly, no spin zone. It's like, I'm wondering if that was intentional or accidental. And someone was like, it had to have been intentional. So that was cool. So anyway, then it was time for the rubber ducky regatta, and it was time. But yeah, it was time for the rubber ducky thing, and we if you're into the rubber ducky, that's great. Me, not so much. So I just kind of talked the ear off of, I don't know if he was the event planner for California's Great America, or if he was like a head supervisor or head employee, but I just asked him like a bunch of questions, like I'm trying to think, were there any other names considered for South Bay Shores? Have you guys can you name like one attraction you guys thought about but then decided not to? How do you guys come up with haunted house names? Um, uh, I did make the suggestion like, can you do something with Grizzly, please? And the guy, he actually kind of told me something that he would like to do. He would like to see them add something like Fire Chaser Express because they don't really have that family coaster. And I was like, well, Psycho Mouse. Um, I don't know if Fire Chaser Express would work in that area, but it'd be a lot better than Grizzly. Stuff would happen. That'd be cool. It'd be really cool. No offense, California's Great America or fans of Grizzly. Um, then after that, it was time for ERT, and there were only like two things I wanted to do. I wanted to do Gold Striker, and I wanted to do the Star Tower. And oh, and I went to Inside CGA. I think that's the name of the main gift shop. It's kind of where Flags is at Six Flags Great America. It's just like to the left of the entrance, right there. So I think I ended up getting like two magnets of the park because what can I say? The park has cool magnets. So I think I rode Gold Striker. Yeah, and then I rode Star Tower. The reason why I wanted to ride Star Tower is because we had already ridden it the first day or the second day, but but my thought was, okay, it's like 9:30 ish. Um, so just being at the top, right, being at the top, like going up and just like kind of seeing San Jose at night with like lights on the buildings would be kind of cool. So I that was kind of like my thing, what I wanted. Um, we left next day. Pretty much missed ERT because I had already been on Demon. I didn't want to ride Grizzly. I'd already been on Psycho Mouse. Didn't necessarily need to ride Railblazer. Um, I think I might have tried to ride Drop Tower, but it just didn't happen for some reason. Oh, kudos to Kay. She rode the Delta Flyer Eagles Flight Sky Ride buckets back and forth a couple of times. So thumbs up to her. That's really cool. Um, then we did the Pacific Gliders, and I think it's a Zamperla Windstars, and it was my first time riding a Windstar, so according to the employees, like if you like push it out, then the kind of like the flap above you kind of goes like this, which kind of like allows you to rise up and like get air, or not necessarily weightless, but just be higher up. And if you hold it close to you, like literally touching you, then it'll do like this, and then you'll be able to go down. That's what I thought, and that's how I had done everything. But I guess I had just ridden it at the right time and everything because, or I had just done things at the right moments because I told Kay, if you hold it close to you, you'll stay very low to the ground. If you push it away from you, you'll rise up. So she was like, holding it like right to her, holding it like right to her heart, but it still went up. So yeah, that was a very interesting response and feel how she was after that, and she was not super happy at me because of that. I'm sorry, but hey, she wrote it, so that was cool. Um, after we were already kind of in that area, so we decided to ride their centrifuge, the Fiddler's Fling. But I don't think it has a top, which is kind of cool. Then we went on SpongeBob's Boatmobiles, where I told her it's kind of like a tilt-a-whirl, and it is like a tilt-a-whirl. It's like a very friendly. It is a Huss rodeo or breakdance, I think, but it's like a very tame, small version. It felt like it. Um, I wrote it just because I think it's like one of very few that are left in the world, I think. Um, because I was and because I felt like I was in the right place at the right time, um, they were I was able to ride Lucy's Krabby Cabbies. Um, and normally you need a kid to ride with. At the time, the operator was just letting any adult ride it. So I thought that was really cool. So I've already ridden Lucy's Krabby Cabbies before, but I decided to ride it again. I mean, it's like 10 feet tall, but the ride is more exciting than Woodstock Express. The ride is more exciting than Grizzly. It's a very fun ride. It has like a lot of bumps and stuff. And we had to kind of leave early, almost after we ate, because because we were going to then make like the 70, 60, 70, 80 mile drive to Six Flags Discovery Kingdom the next day. And I had like commented, man, I'm gonna miss the hot dog bar. Shows you where my headspace is. So we went to the food court and I got a hot dog. But what's I don't know if this is something all Cedar Fair parks do, or maybe they just did this for CoasterCon, but for the food prices, there's no surcharge. There's no it's there how much it is how much it is. It's like, I don't know, let's say it was like 18 bucks for a hot dog and fries. There's no like plus $1.30 surcharge. So I thought that was awesome. I thought that was really cool because seeing the surcharge at my home park, it was nice not seeing the surcharge. No offense. Um, the I think we did a tour of the park operations. So that was kind of cool. I think I might have asked a few questions, told some lame jokes. Um, was not in trouble, so I'm assuming they were okay jokes. So after we did the after we did literally after the meal, before the meal even ended, we just pretty much all left. And then it was time to make the drive to Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. Now we were following Andy and Luann, and those two, even though they're from Southern California, they're familiar with this area. They're familiar with driving in California. So we had GPS, but we didn't use the GPS. We just essentially followed them. So we eventually got to the hotel. Uh, Calling it a hotel is a little nice. It felt more like a motel or a motor lodge where it was kind of like one of those, it was, I can't exactly remember what the brand was, but it was a hotel where you just pretty much drove up and then you scanned your card and then you went in. Uh, Nothing wrong with that, but what's kind of funny and very unique is that there was like a mother and her daughter, and they had these two little like tiny dogs. I'm not a big dog person because they scare me. Long story, not worth getting into. Um, so we had like we opened the doors so that way we could like bring in our luggage, bring in our cooler, and bring in all that stuff. And the two dogs ran into the hotel room, and yeah, they ran into the hotel room, and that kind of like surprised me. That was like kind of like okay. And I was like really worried. I was like, oh man, how long are the dogs going to be here? Are they going to go to the bathroom and going to have to smell it? Fortunately, they immediately ran out once they were called, so that was cool. Um Coming up is our oh, coming up not worth it. Coming up is going to be the Six Flags Discovery Kingdom episode. Some of you might want to like skip past the next episode if you know what I mean.